All right, hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Brandon, and we're going to be doing a collaborative video here. So my name is Brandon. And I have the YouTube channel Gut Back to Nature, and I'll link all my stuff below. And my channel focuses on healing Crohn's, colitis, and inflammatory bowel disease. And this is my friend Kuba.
Yeah, so Yakub, aka Kuba from Sustainability Starts Within, and I'll put this on my channel as well. And my channel is just promoting this living foods lifestyle and connection to nature.
Yeah. Beautiful thing. And maybe we're just going to share some of our experiences and maybe a little bit of our story and a little bit about where we're at right now. We're in Punta Gorda, Florida, and we are here with Dr. Robert Morse and the International School of Regenerative Detoxification. And it's essentially just learning to detoxify the body in order to bring a healing environment so that the tissues can regenerate, because our natural state is health, essentially. Yes.
And this is, we're at level 2, so we already did level 1, and this time we're more focused on iridology, so reading of the eyes to see what's going on inside the body.
Yeah,
it's cool stuff.
Very, very cool stuff. Yeah, rather than getting in super science with the 23andMe and genetic testing, we're just looking at the window to the soul, or the eye, and seeing genetic weaknesses right there, because what is weak in the body shows you right in the eye. And it's very, very, very interesting stuff. We're going over a lot of cases, and if I might say so myself, people might say this is like pseudoscience and stuff, but it's like when I look into my own eyes and I reflect my own journey with my gut and having Crohn's disease, and looking into my eye, I'm seeing very things where, like, hey, I have sulfur in my gut, and sulfur is very present in my body, and I've expelled sulfur, so that's an orange burst around the pupil, and it's very interesting. I'm sure you found similar things like in your eye and relating to.
I have not actually looked at my eye.
Yeah.
I got someone to read my eye last April, and they told me. So now that I'm learning this, I want to go home and actually do it on myself. So I have not yet done it.
Yeah, it's amazing what you uncover, and because I've even done 23andMe genetic testing, so I can align the genetic testing with the the science, with the iridology, and really just my own experience. So it's
cool, bro.
Very, very cool. Yeah, to see that, and even having even being able to see my surgery even in my eye, because I feel like even those things can come up in the eye and really show you those things. It's cool.
Yeah.
And
so what was your surgery, by the way, for the people who don't know?
Yeah, for people that don't know, I had a colon resection surgery for Crohn's, and they took out part of my terminal ileum, which is the end of the small intestine, and then ileocecal valve, cecum, appendix, and part of my colon, and they resected that, so I'm missing all those kind of parts in between, and a lot of people say it's a lot harder to recover and fully heal, and I just from my own journey, I've found that no matter what, even if your body is compromised, it wants to heal. No matter what, it really wants to, find that natural equilibrium and homeostasis and feel healthy again. And it can just definitely take some time, and especially I know a lot of you guys out there maybe have had even surgeries, and I know a lot of people that subscribe to my channel, they have a lot of surgeries, and it's tough stuff, man. It's tough stuff.
Yeah, I feel the body always wants to heal if we're not in the body's way. The problem is that we're always, in our standard society, I guess, we're always putting in processed foods and stuff that is not supportive to the body. So that's why people don't heal so easily.
Yeah.
But I think you're right about the body just always is naturally trying to heal if you just allow it to.
Exactly. If we get out of the body's way, we can, it's the obstruction to the flow of energy. And like you were saying, it was foods, and it's beyond that. I feel like the food unlocks the doorway to emotional and spiritual health, and that really reflects on your body. Sometimes I think that's why we are given a body, so that our little brains can, see that we're out of balance. We get physical symptoms, or we get signals, really, you know what I mean? And it's not like, oh, we have Crohn's or colitis or lupus or fibromyalgia. It's like you have an overall out of balance with your mind or your body or your spirit, and learning to align all that, and seeing the results myself, and as with you, especially with doing a lot of juice fasting or mono fruits and herbs, so earth medicine, and seeing your own body change. And
clean eating, just eating simply. It's a huge thing.
Simplicity.
Yeah, just eating one fruit for a meal. It's a game changer.
Yeah. And has it taken you a long time to get to like even eating a fruit lifestyle, like let alone mono fruits?
Yeah, I'd say so. Because I would watch YouTubers and I'd be like, oh, these people like just eat fruit for a few days and say it's amazing, and they're for like raw vegan for life. Where I'm like kept going back to the cooked foods and like kept struggling. It took probably a year just to go vegan.
Yeah.
Trying to, while everyone around me wasn't,
Yeah.
And then it wasn't, because I started my journey 2014 into 2015, and it wasn't until the end of 2016 that I got into John Rose and learned about juice fasting and started a juice fast, and that was like the pivot point that changed my whole perspective, changed my whole approach, and cut out cravings and all these things, and really simplified my lifestyle, my diet, and got me feeling more connected to nature.
Yeah.
And since then I feel like I've really like tuned into this lifestyle and able to eat more clean and sustain that in a fun way,
Yeah.
It's not like a struggle now.
Exactly. It's all about making it fun, and to be completely transparent here, it was not fun. Especially having like a gut weakness, and when I started eating fruits, my journey was very similar, where it came in stages. I'd eliminated, I went to essentially like a low FODMAP diet, low fermentable carbohydrates, so you pretty much just like dodging symptoms essentially with that diet. And then I eliminated even more things, and then I finally got to veganism, like a cooked vegan diet. I never went the junk food vegan phase. I wish I did. But I went to like a cooked and more whole foods, but still a lot of oils and that sort of thing. And like it gave me symptom suppression, but it never gave me deep, true healing. And that's what I kept seeking. And then I finally came across, fasting and fruits and mono fruits and juice feasting. And then that was like a whole new doorway. And I was like, when I started getting into that, that's when honestly, it wasn't fun for me, because it exposed a lot of weakness in me. And I was in a lot of pain, and especially with the fruits. And when you come across like Dr. Robert Morse or Dr. David Klein or Arnold Ehret or Herbert Shelton, all these natural hygienists and like just natural diet people, where they everything makes so much sense and you dive right in, but maybe you don't get the experience that you were expecting, meaning like, oh, I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna heal my body. For me, it exposed all my weaknesses, and my weakness was my gut pain, so it really cleared out my intestinal lining and showed those holes in my gut, or my permeated gut lining, or like my ulcers essentially. And I was in pain for literally a lot of years, so it's hard to like really trust something that you believe in. So it's like that information is different than the implementation, and it could be really difficult, especially for people with Crohn's or colitis or just a really extreme gut sensitivity. It's really hard to like say, hey, this is actually working. It's so hard. It's very hard.
I feel you. I don't have any diagnosis of mine, but I've had stuff where I was in my sigmoid colon area where I would feel pain or discomfort, and like I remember in high school that would happen, but I never knew what was going on. And then like somehow I forgot about it. I don't know if it was when I went vegan or what. And then when I started juicing, when I went vegan, I started feeling that again. But then when I started juicing, I felt even more, and I feel like the juicing activated healing.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, kind of. So my juice fast wasn't that fun either for the 90 days. I went through a lot of rough stuff, That's also based on like the environment I was in and not having the support that I needed. But it was like it showed things going on. And then I would eat. I remember I started trying to juice fast, but I would keep falling off. But then when I eat solid foods, even like a smoothie, it would slow me down. Like I just felt like my digestion's slow, and I was just like my energy, and I had to work. So then I just got into, naturally because of that, not because of like what I learned, it was more because of that, I got into like more like fasting in the morning, because I'm like, I don't want to eat in the morning because I need energy for work. So I would try to work all day, just so that when I eat, I don't get bogged down.
Right.
So I knew, I was just like, I knew I have to do this juice feast to like clean out, because every time I eat it just like slow me down. I think the juice has activated some sort of healing, and it's like too late now, because I would do like 3 days or 4 days on juice and then eat and then like not feel good and stuff. So I'm just like, my body was going through some crazy stuff, I feel.
Definitely.
So the average person might start juicing and that happens and they think, whoa, this juicing doesn't work, and then like give it up. But I'm like, oh man, I need to get deeper into this juicing, because it's like activating something in me, you know?
I love what you say about activating healing, because that's definitely it's a true thing, because I feel like our bodies are so saturated, so bogged down, that our immune systems really do shut down, because they're just going haywire. And now we have that bombardment. But now that when we start to get rid of those obstructions to the flow of energy, we really start activating our healing systems, and that's when the excrement can hit the fan. And a lot of weaknesses will come out of your body. It could be very uncomfortable, and I guess we'll call that like the healing crisis. Like the double-edged sword, like you're healing but you're going through a crisis at the same time, and that's where it's hard to trust. But it's like what you step through to get to your state of body, like your body's state of imbalance, you're gonna have to step back through the healing process. So say maybe you didn't notice that like your Crohn's or colitis started as like, you know, subtle heartburn or indigestion, and then went to like diarrhea, and then the diarrhea turned into like pinching, stabbing, ate a cactus pain. You know what I mean? You're gonna go almost back through that. You know, it's not going to be like instant healing. It's going to be like, okay, I'm going to start at the cactus eating to the indigestion, then finally, eventually, you're going to come to some stable ground.
That's called retracing.
Retracing.
Yeah, John Rose. Well, I learned that from John Rose. Retracing. So, and Morse talks about it as well, where you're, basically going backwards. So sometimes the symptoms that you might not feel anymore, because like you said, the diarrhea went away, but now you have this extreme pain. But now, like, say over time, the pain goes away, and now you have the diarrhea, right? It's like going backwards through that stuff, because that stuff never healed. It just got kind of suppressed. So it's still like in your cells, the toxicity and all that. It's still like within your cells, just covered up. So now you're uncovering these layers as you're removing these obstructions, and then you feel those symptoms again. Which it's amazing stuff.
Yeah, even Dr. Stam at Woodstock Fruit Festival says like, the pain goes away, but the injury never healed. And sometimes our body will put up, you know, layers of mucus in order to protect us. It's a natural it's a natural protective mechanism. And when we go in with the astringent fruits and the herbs and the fasting, it allows your body to finally now shake down those layers, clean out. Maybe we're doing some bentonite glaze or charcoals or psyllium husk or some kind of bowel cleanser or parasite cleanse, and we start to uncover those layers of mucus, and that's where a lot of weakness, and at least for my experience in the gut, happened. And that's when I was like, whoa, wow, I thought I had this Crohn's thing figured out. And you know, the more I move forward with refining my diet, or actually getting to like the ultimate healing, which is fasting, which is really just getting out of the body's way and really activating that parasympathetic nervous system, calm, the rest, digest, heal, or just heal. Let it heal. Really, anything
like
that you
stop stimulating the body and just really let it be at peace, at ease, and do its own thing.
Yeah, because it knows what to do. It knows how to pump your heart. It knows how to breathe. It knows how to heal a cutter wound. And like, if it can heal the cutter wounds on our skin, it can heal the wounds on the inside too.
Yeah, and it's like if this life we're born, it's just like so magnificent, life itself, and like it can like nature can make this being happen and be alive, why wouldn't it be able to heal? You know, it makes so much sense that the body can heal itself if the body is able to like create itself, you know.
Right.
So like, why wouldn't it be able to heal something that it created?
Yeah, and we are beautiful, magnificent creatures, and yeah, we have these healing systems in us with all animals in nature, and the more that we observe, you know, animals in nature, the more that we can learn from them, and that's where I feel like fasting came into my life. I feel like we're so programmed to eat, you know, 3 meals a day and snack in between
every single day of our lives.
Every day, and imagine what that does to the gut. It's just constant traffic.
Non-stop.
It never gets to, you know, sleep without, you know, something scraping in there.
It's like your kitchen pipes. Eventually they get clogged and junk in there. You gotta like remove it all out.
Yeah.
Clean out the pipes, right?
Clean
Otherwise,
the pipes.
Eventually they get clogged if you constantly use them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everything in nature, well, I mean, most things in nature will fast, especially if they break a leg.
Yeah,
You think you need protein or something to heal the bones, and when really most animals in nature, I mean, if they break a bone, they'll just lay there. They won't drink or eat anything, and it's just like, so all that energy can go into healing instead of, you know, trying to eat food or something.
I feel like even humans, when we're sick, like we have fevers and stuff, a lot of times we don't have an appetite.
Mm-hmm.
That's the body saying like, all right, take a break from food so we can focus on healing and cleaning out what we already have in us.
Yeah, I feel like that's nature's wisdom. It's like, yeah, when we are feeling like sickness or illness, and especially like the Crohn's and colitis flare-ups, it's like, how often do you feel like eating when you're in a flare-up, or like vomiting because you have a, you know, such...
You can't look at food.
You can't even look at food. And especially if you have like a bowel obstruction, you got so much inflammation in your intestines, like, you have no appetite, and I feel like we're so programmed to like eat something and it'll settle your stomach. When really nature's telling you, hey, don't eat right now, and really learning to listen to that intuition and that inner wisdom and breaking our internal programming. It's like, it's a process.
Which is what this living foods helps do.
Yeah.
That's why my juice feast got me more connected to nature, because it raised my intuition. And yeah, when the living foods, they communicate with your cells, because everything is alive and your body is alive. That raises your intuition, and then you can really tune in to like, oh, I don't need to eat right now, or I need to just eat this one fruit right now, and like you really know what to eat. That's why I feel our journeys have been like, it wasn't smooth from the beginning, and it took time to tune in and like really get intuitive with this lifestyle.
Yeah.
The living food.
Learning to really honor your body is definitely a process, and it takes time. It definitely takes time, and let alone just trying to get the fruit thing figured out. You're trying to even listen to your body, and you don't really know. you
it's
don't
confusing because we got so much stuff. We grew up eating processed foods and stimulative stuff, and then we get these cravings. So that's confusing. It's like, is the body telling me to eat a cheeseburger because I really want one right now?
Yeah. Or like,
it's not.
I bet you can relate to this too, like hunger pangs.
Yeah, hunger pangs.
Remember
People
hunger
call
pangs?
it hunger, yeah.
Yeah, we call it hunger. When really it's like you're waking up in the morning and your body has finally rested overnight, and that's the longest fast it has ever gotten. So it's going to start with mucus drainage, and the second you get up, it's going to start draining mucus, and you're going to start feeling the symptoms of detoxification essentially. And it's really hard to tune into, like, oh, my hunger pang is a detoxification, Branden, like really, you know what I mean? But when you start really tapping into this lifestyle, you really realize like you haven't even experienced true hunger.
Because like it makes no sense, the hunger pangs, for it to be hunger, the noise we hear, the sound, like the stomach groaning, or like we feel something, discomfort. If we were empty because we're hungry, we need food, we wouldn't feel that. Yeah. But because we feel that means there's something in there. It's the gases and the liquids and the solids interacting and making like gassy noises and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that means we still have food in us. So how can we be hungry?
Right. Because I mean, I feel like I mean, you've gone weeks without solid food, as with
months.
Okay, he's gone 3 months. Yeah. So it's like
3 months on juice. I'm alive.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, even food, I feel like, yeah, it can slow down like the healing process. But I mean, like, let's face it, you're gonna need food at some point, and this is where following intuition comes in and practicing with fasting, because like you don't want to fast 100 days. Actually, it can reach that threshold of like the benefits, turn into like, not so much benefits anymore. So learning to honor your body, listen to your body, know when to fast, know when not to eat, know when to break a fast, know how to break a fast. It's all, yeah, that's a
I
lot
think that's
of
a very good point, because
Mhm.
even my 3 months, I did not plan 3 months. I don't think it's natural to plan a long time to fast. I just took it one day at a time. And
Yeah.
then naturally I just wanted to keep going, So I think that's a good point to mention, because some people might even hurt themselves
Yeah.
fasting because they have these lofty fasting goals. But
Mhm.
if we're in tune, like how nature is, like the animals who break their leg, nature will call us to fast naturally. Like if you're tuned in, you'll know when it's time to fast, not because you want to set some goal or
Right. Yeah, sometimes I feel like our egos can get in the way of just like, oh, I'm setting out to do a 40-day water fast, when it's like, is that really what your body wants, or is that what the world wants to see, or you want to show the world? So it's like, yeah, tuning into intuition, really listening to yourself, because it's like we're all healers within. Like, I'm not a healer, Kuba's not a healer. It's like we are all showing everyone that they are their own healer. So we have our own healing systems within, and it's like learning to, activate those healing systems and turn them on. So we're all magnificent self-healing beings that are like our natural state of self.
just say that. Yeah. I was gonna just say about the forcing a fast. A lot of people might fast for a long time, and then when they break the fast, they end up going like binging or going into like old habits. So I feel that's why it's also like not safe, because you gotta, like, when you're naturally fasting and you break it with the right foods, that's like the best way to go. But otherwise, if you just like force yourself too long, you might crave the old stuff again, just because you were not ready for it. I don't know, I just feel like it can't be forced.
It can't be forced, yeah, because like you were saying, I can't force it. And if we have like this crazy teetering pendulum swing, you want stable ground, and not so much like going from eating pizza french fries to like, oh, I'm gonna do this fast to fix it, to then go back to eating the pizza french fries. It's like we need some middle ground, and not these huge pendulum swings. Yeah. Well, this is beautiful. Well, I hope you guys learned something from both of us just talking now, and activating that healer within. And
I was curious, if you don't mind, maybe if I ask you just one question about your experience of like, if you could maybe just like summarize your experience of like having the Crohn's, and like how you started healing it, how it started healing.
Yeah.
I'm just having in mind the people who don't really know about this lifestyle,